Everybody, wishing you a very warm welcome to this today's Flourish Wellbeing drop-in session. I'd like to introduce us. My name is Sarah Stark and I'm a senior account manager within the Children's Services team. And my esteemed colleague here is Pete Humphreys, our head of partnerships. To begin, you'll see that we've already started sharing our slides. So just to give you a little bit of sort of understanding and background of how we came to producing the Flourish Wellbeing app. Whilst we've proudly worked with our customers for many years, providing our expert training programs, the formation of Flourish has given us the opportunity to show our amazing learners how much we respect and acknowledge the incredible work that they do every day. First with Flourish Rewards, and now with Flourish Wellbeing. I'm going to share these slides with you, but before we begin, we really want to hear your thoughts or help with any questions that you may have. So if you have a look at the toolbar, you'll see that there's a Q&A option. So please pop your questions or thoughts in there and we'd be happy to address them throughout the session. Whether you're a foster parent or an educator or a care worker, we appreciate just how emotionally and physically demanding your role can be and how over time this can take its toll. With often limited time and resources available to you, we wanted to provide support that's available to you whenever you feel you need it. And so that's why we've created Flourish Wellbeing, which is a personalised wellbeing platform designed to support the incredible people we work with. Flourish Wellbeing is a free resource that's available to all learners who access Click Learning. The platform can be accessed at any time, day or night, and the more regularly you update how you're feeling or what areas of concern you may have, the platform will be able to create a more personalised experience for you. The platform offers practical tools and expert guidance covering a range of concerns, such as areas of anxiety, stress, financial worries, physical health, sleep, or career support. Each time you access the platform, you'll be asked to check in and take a moment to consider how you're feeling that day, as every day can feel different. For those experiencing more challenging times, there are signposts for further support. We are in the process of developing anonymised insights for management teams for those that feel this would be beneficial. So, how can the platform help your service? When you feel held and supported, you have more of yourself to give to others. Feelings of stress and overwhelm can often manifest into very physical symptoms. So, lower levels of stress result in better mental health and physical health, creating a stronger, more productive and effective team. We know that one size doesn't fit all, so we offer tailored support that's accessed via Click Learning with no additional passwords or login details to remember. We're going to shortly give you a little tour of our wellbeing platform so you can experience firsthand the journey that your teams will take. Before we do, however, I wanted to draw your attention to the wellbeing link that will take you to our website, where you can find email templates to share with your teams, newsletters, a group chat template, and digital or printed posters that you can display in your workplace or share with your colleagues. You'll notice there's a link at the end of this slide. I will pop this into the chat as well, so then when you click on it, you will be able to access the link and have a look at our page on our website. So I'm just going to stop sharing there. I see that we've already got some questions. So I'm just going to have a little look at this. Just waiting for that to load.
The only question we've had, Sarah, is are we sending the slides out afterwards as well as the AI notes? We will be sharing the webinar via our website, so you will be able to watch back the recording on there, as well as the link in the chat that has the website for wellbeing on there as well.
Fabulous. Thank you, Pete, for stepping in there and helping with that. That's wonderful. Pete, would you like to share the demo?
I would. Let's get into it. So, as Sarah's mentioned, we do have the Wellbeing website, which is up on the screen. So if you do want to have a look into it, I have put it into the chat. It's flourish.co.uk/wellbeing, and on here we've got the join and the sign in buttons for the Wellbeing app, and you can also access some of the information that we share in there. So there's some templates in there that you can use, couple of videos, and then links to our other resources that we do have available. Now, if I go to the sign-in page, it takes me over to this page, which is our new single sign-on page. So we've refreshed the sign-in page, and this is how it looks now. The reason behind that, and if I click sign in, it takes me to a new version of our landing page, which has all of the different platforms that we operate. So you can see there, Click Learning, Click Shifts, Flourish Rewards, Flourish Wellbeing, and Click Pulse, which is coming soon in the future. So keep your eyes peeled for that one as more information comes through. The Flourish Wellbeing page, if I click into there, that takes me through to the Hapstar page. Bear with. There we go. So this is the first time I have logged in as this learner. So it's the first time for me going in. So you can see straight away, it's telling me why I should use the Wellbeing app. So discover my Wellbeing profile, get a personal action plan, get instant help, find quick support, explore the resource library, journal and track my progress, check in regularly, and then to start my well-being journey. Okay, so this is going to take me through my personal well-being journey. Now, everything I'm going to show you is anonymized to the individual, so only the individual can see this information that's held in there. So if I start my journey, first of all, it's going to ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I feeling today? So on how happy am I with my mental well-being? So let's go, we'll say a 5 out of 10 on here. Physically, I'm going to leave that around about 7. Financially, we'll put 6. Socially, yeah, we'll move that up to an 8. And career, we'll put that down on 5. Let's continue. Now we're going to look at my holistic well-being picture. So the first time I log in, it asks me to do a holistic assessment of myself. Now, if we get started, I've got 20 questions that I rate from none of the time all the way through to all of the time. And these are based around 5 core pillars that the app is built on. And I'll come to the 5 core pillars in just a second. What we do is we need to read through these questions and select how we would rate ourselves within that. Now, I am just clicking some of these. This is a demo, so none of these are true, and we can just select how we feel. You can see it's asking quite a wide range of questions within here. Again, they relate to the 5 core pillars that we have in here. Once we go through that and we get to the end, again, just randomly picking these, it tells me my assessment's completed. Okay, so there we go. 96% of people report feeling more self-aware after this process. So straight away, I'm going to be more aware of how I feel within my own personal well-being. Once I complete an assessment, it then gives me my priorities. So the things that it suggests might be the key areas for me to work in. Each one has a score out of 5 and relates to a certain area within the 5 core pillars. If I view all of the areas, you can see they all have different ratings. Now, I can select as many of these as I want to. I personally would select any that have a score of 1 out of 5, and I just add those in as my priorities, the things I want to work on. And then we go down to the bottom, and you can see it's added those in as my current priorities. At any point, I can remove those as I work through and engage with the system. If we continue to the report, it then gives me the ability to journal and write down any of my feelings, thoughts, what I feel after looking at those priorities, after looking at that assessment, what's going through my head. And I can record that and say what I am feeling. And that will track that. So let's add that section in. And now it's done. There we go. I've got a great job. I've taken my first steps towards going through my well-being. It's then given me my dashboard. It says I'm a beginner. I've got no learning and no actions currently. And further down, it's building my well-being profile. So currently we're at 17%. Now, I mentioned the 5 core pillars, and those are further down in my well-being profile. You can see I've got mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being, social well-being, and my career. I can take further assessments into each of those core pillars to identify any other areas or specific areas that I'd like to work on within those. As I move down, I've got my check-in trends. So how often have I logged in? I've got my journal, my well-being indicators. So I've got my stress, my burnout, anxiety, isolation, psychological safety, and resilience. And again, I can take assessments specific to those areas to identify what are my increases and what are my detractors for my well-being. What impacts on my personal well-being? And then underneath, I've got a well-being plan. Within that, I've got actions of different things that I can do, activities I can complete, learning I can do. I can go and do activities that get me out and about or suggestions. It builds a personal plan for me tailored to what I've done through my assessments. So what I've learned about myself, my priorities, it then tailors those. Along the top, I've got that plan again. So I can go in. Oh, apologies. There we go. Along the top, let's just jump back in. I've got my plan and it identifies the areas that I can work on. So the areas that I can go through. So again, it's got that list of all the different activities or all the suggestions, all the learning that I can do through there. The hub, which is the next section, is a well-being hub. So it's all the resources that I can use if I need support. So when I do that rating on a 1 to 10, if I rate anything less than 3, it suggests going to one of these resources and using these as support. So we have our crisis support. So we've got things like the NHS Mental Health Helpline, Mind, Calm, Samaritans, Hub of Hope, and Shout within there. I also have specific ones tailored to the sector that I work in. So we have the adult care sector where we've got Care Workers Charity and Care England, children's social care support, so Foster Talk, Coram, BAAF, NSPCC and Barnardo's, and then education where we have Education Support, Teaching Staff Trust, ACAS, Money Saving Expert, Now and Beyond, Heads Up for HTS, and NASUWT. So we've got quite a lot of different resources, and those are suggested to me when I mark myself as needing support. If I don't mark myself as needing support, they are always there available for me to go to if I need to. Okay, so I can always go back in and reach out as I need to within that. Okay. Now, the more I engage with this, the higher my engagement score goes up, the more learning I do, the more actions I do, the more this builds a profile specifically about me. Okay, so if I do learning, if I do more of these assessments, if we went through the mental assessment and we took that, it would build more of a profile about myself. So I could go through again, and we could select all of these outcomes and how we're feeling within them. And we just go through and we select how we feel. That will increase that score. That will change some of those factors. Again, it will suggest help is available if I need it. There we go. I select none of the time on one of those. It suggests me getting help within there. I am going to skip that. There we go. My help seeking, mental coping, it's saying I should go in and add that. We will add that in as a priority. And again, it's building my priority list. Forward to my report. I won't add anything in the journal at the moment, but it's given me an overall trend score with how I'm currently feeling. Now I can retake those assessments at any point. So if I've changed how I'm feeling, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day, I can add things in. What the system's just doing is, because I've just taken another assessment, it's updating my profile. It's going through all the resources that are there, it's looking at all the questions that I've asked, and it's building that profile even further for me. So it's changed some of my priorities in there. I've got that new score there for my mental well-being, so it's put me at 51 out of 100. It's asking me to take the physical assessment. But at the top, my engagement has gone up. So I'm at 105 points on that. So I'm growing my profile. I've got one action to do now. So we can view the progress on there. It's given me an action that I can work through and I can mark as complete. I've got some learning in there to do as well. The more I engage, I keep saying this, the more I engage, the more it builds a profile about me and supports me as an individual. Now, currently, this is just the individual's profile, okay? Again, this is all completely anonymized. There is no data sent to any managers regarding this. Everything is completely confidential within here. We are building a manager's profile, which will give an organizational plan and will base scoring around the average scores in the different 5 pillars and the holistic pillars for the organization, but everything else is completely confidential. There is no data sent around any journals or what specific people have said or whether they've needed any support within those areas. Okay, so it is really, really engaging. We've had so much positive feedback around this so far. We're using it internally within our teams as well. I would encourage everybody to take advantage of this and start using this as a free resource for people to use. Sarah, anything you'd like to add on to that?
Yeah, absolutely. But before we sort of go on, have just been keeping an eye on the questions. So somebody has asked, will the platform signpost staff to external support services? So as Pete has shared there, within the hub section, there is not only crisis support for anybody that feels that, you know, through working, sometimes when you don't consider yourself and you don't consider how you feel about certain things, it's only when you start to think about it that you realize actually you're not feeling so great. So the I'm in crisis support is certainly there, as well as sector specific support services that are there and available at any time for anybody to access for further resources. Another question is this available as an app? It certainly is. Pete will know a little bit more. He's a little bit more technically minded than I am. So Pete, if you wouldn't mind explaining about the app.
Yes, so it is available within an app. The app is called Hapstar. Okay, so it's Hapstar. You can find it in the App Store, in the Play Store. You can download that app. What you will need is your login details that you use for Click Learning in order to access it. So it links through to your Click Learning profile. Once you do that, you get this basically in the app version, which is great because again, you can still access into that account at any point moving forward. So you can always go into that. You can grow your profile. Sometimes it's a lot easier to do that than log into a computer or another device. So yes, it's available as an app, and I would again encourage people to download and use that.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete. We do have another actually quite an interesting question. Can an inactive learner still access this? My understanding is only active learners.
Currently,
yes.
yes. Currently it's only in active learners that will be able to access this. We are working on stuff in the background to make this available to others. It may be that in the future, if you are made inactive for any reason, your Click Learning profile will be inactive, but you will still be able to access the wellbeing resources. That's part of a rebuild we're doing around Click Community. That says if you do leave the organization that's using Click, you will still be able to use the wellbeing resource through that. So currently no, but in the future, yes, an inactive learner will be able to use it and take advantage of that.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them. Your individual account managers will certainly be so delighted to give you any members of your team if this is something that you'd like to explore a little bit further or have a really good understanding of what your individual teams are accessing when they come onto Click Learning. We're really happy to share a demonstration with you so we can show you around the platform at your own pace, because obviously we're doing this in a group setting. So please do reach out to your account manager or to contact any of the teams, and we'd be happy to direct you through so we can give you an individual demo. I'm just going to check the chat just to make sure there is nothing else there. No. I mean, from a general well-being perspective, this is something that we've have been thinking about and talking about for so long. We're so aware of the amazing work, as I mentioned earlier, that all of our learners do. And often they're putting everybody before themselves. Anyone in a caring role will of course identify with that. So this is our way of giving something back to ensuring the people that we are, of course, able to support and have for so many years supported with from a training perspective. We're able to train from a well-being perspective. And we know this is a priority for so many of the organizations we support, but often resources are limited for various factors. So this is our way of offering this. I'm just reading a couple of other questions. Someone's come forward and said, Hapstar is asking for a company code. Where do we access this? Is this, I assume, when you go onto within the App Store? I will find that out for you. We will find that out for you and get back in touch with you, because that's something that we've not been made aware of. Just following on from the question about, I think to be relating to, yes, to inactive learners. And this is a very interesting point this person has raised. Any team members who may be on sick leave due to mental health issues, it will be really useful for them to be able to access the site, certainly to access Click Wellbeing. So leave that with us. We're going to speak to the development team about that, because that is a very valuable point. So
yeah, 100%.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
And there's another one just come in as well, actually, Sarah, saying when to develop the manager's section, will it signpost them to tools to support building of team resilience and well-being? Yes, it will. That's the idea around the manager's profile, that it will give you the anonymized scores or the overall average scores for your organization, and it will suggest a plan to support you to build the well-being for your organization. So it's not just saying here's the scores, do with them as you will. This is about actually how we can support, how we can grow in terms of you as an organization, to support you to then support your staff team, because at the end of the day, this then supports the people you support, whether it's in a school, whether it's foster carers, whether it's in a social care setting. It's all about supporting the individuals at the end of the day.
Thanks, Pete. We've had another question with regard to the cost. Is this going to remain a free resource? Do we have resources that you can share with employers to roll out with staff? This will remain a free resource.
Yes, As a
Sorry,
learner
Peter.
resource, it's free resource. For the manager's dashboard, there may be a charge on that. We haven't confirmed that yet as we're still building the dashboards, but that we will share out, and there will be, once we've got the dashboard, we'll be able to share that as another one of these webinars that we can do, run through that, and then we can share costs as well. And I think, Sarah, the resources, we've got a resource pack that is available to send out.
Yes, we will look to be sharing additional information on that once it's ready, but certainly as this is a very new thing for us, as I'm sure you can appreciate, once we've developed the manager's resource area, additional sort of the analytics area for them, then we'll have a better idea of if there's any cost implication for that. Another question with regard to Hapstar, someone's trying to log in from their work email, but it says it's not recognized. Do you need to create a new account?
No, as far as I'm aware, you need to log in through Click first before you log in anywhere else. So that actually might answer the question earlier on, that you don't, if you have an active account on Click Learning, then you can access the Hapstar, but you have to have logged in through Click first. So sign into your Click account, select Hapstar and log in through there. It may send you an email code. Sometimes it does to just register because if you're using a certain device, but if you do that, it should then log you in through the system there.
Right. Thanks, Pete. Any other thoughts, anybody, or questions that you may have? If you do think about something, as I said earlier, as well as obviously being very happy to set up a demo, all your account managers and the customer engagement support team will be really happy to ask any questions that maybe you come away and you share this with other members of your team and they've got questions or anything, any more information that they would like. Certainly, we are all on hand to support you through this. It's such a valuable resource for us all, quite frankly. So yeah, we're really excited about it and very happy to share as much as we can about it. We really want to spread the word as widely as we can, so everybody has the opportunity to access this and make the most of it.
100%. I would always, obviously, if anybody has any feedback, anything they'd like to share, anything they'd like to see, please do share that feedback with us. We would love to know what's going on and give us that information so we can go back and look at that.
Oh, we've got another question. Oh, some feedback. We've noticed occasionally when you click through the platform, it seems to crash and send you back to the main Click Learning site. Okay, thank you for sharing that. We will have it maybe, I'm not sure. Let's look into that and find out.
Yeah, we will raise that with the
that.
tech
We'll raise
team.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very important. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Someone else has come through and said it looks great. It's perfect timing as we launch our wellbeing plan. So that's wonderful. That's brilliant. Thanks ever so much. It's really good to know. It's very reassuring to know that this is an area that is really being taken seriously. And so we love to hear that the organizations we support are so on board and so like-minded. So that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Any other thoughts from anyone?
Don't think so. I think
No. Okay. Well, look, as Pete mentioned earlier, this recording will be available. If there's anything you missed, if you did join a little bit later, the slides will be part of that. So if there is anything you missed, you'll be able to catch up from that. Please feel free to share it with your colleagues. I can just see there's just another.
Yeah, Sarah's just said when I log onto the Flourish, it takes me straight to Click also.
Okay.
Let me just share, because you can access the system directly from Click. So if you are in Click and it's logged you in, every learner at the top of the screen has the app launcher button, which is these 9 dots, and it's also on the left-hand menu under app launcher. If you click on there and click on Flourish Wellbeing, it will then take you through to the Wellbeing page. Now, sometimes it does a loop and you have to do it again, but this is one thing we are working on and we will fix, but it takes you in. So if it loops, just click back on the Wellbeing app and it will take you through to there. Okay.
Thanks. That sometimes it's easier just to show. As I say, this is so new for us, so there may be a couple of little teething problems, but it's really, this process helps us iron them out. And obviously your feedback is so valuable. So if anything's not quite right, or you're experiencing something that you're not quite sure about, please let us know so we can ensure that it's running as smoothly as it should be for you all and for your learners. And that's really important. Okay.
Amazing. Perfect.
Yeah, I think okay, we just.
Oh, amazing. Tracy, hold off on sharing that in your newsletter. We will send over the manager's pack. I know Andy is your account manager, so I will get him to do that for you today, so you've got access to that. And yeah, we'll get that out to everybody. We will see if we can put the manager's pack onto the website, so you can download that as a resource as well, to make it easier to access for everybody.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate your time today, fitting us in with your really busy days. Anything else, reach out. We would love to hear from you, as I mentioned earlier. And please spread the word. Spread the word. Yeah, the more people using it, hopefully we'll be able to see, or you'll be able to see the outcomes of how that impacts sort of our day-to-day. So that's really great. Thank you. Thank you all. Anything else from your side, Pete?
No, like I said, we will put the recording of the webinar up onto the website. The resources are all on the Wellbeing website page as well. So if you do need anything, please do shout. If you don't get the Wellbeing pack through from your account managers, please let them know and they will send that through. I'm in the office with 2 of them today, so I will make sure they send that out, and Sarah will make sure that some of the others that she's in the office with will send that
absolutely.
to you as well.
Yeah, we'll make sure from the children's services perspective for our children's service teams and educators that we're sharing it all. For those of you, I know someone's come through and said their connections have been a bit tricky today. So yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you again. And any questions, please do get in touch. So thank you.
Everyone.
Take
Have
good
a great
care.
day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.